And we are live with Lunch Break Live. Caryn, what are you making today?
I am making the most delicious kale and white bean bruschetta. Let's get to it.
Yeah, let's do it and get to it.
Okay, so it's a 2-pot meal, but don't let that dissuade you because it's super, 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 super easy, and it's actually one of my all-time favorites. Okay, so in this pan right here, I have some baby tomatoes, and I have a few more. I'm just going to pop a few more in there. This is a pretty hot pan. What we want to do with these tomatoes is let them char a little bit and then cook down so that they burst, and then that's when we're going to add the white beans. Okay, and in this pan over here, or this pot, I'm going to put just a little bit of water in there. You can use water, you can use broth, vegetable broth, whatever. Add that to a pretty hot pan. These are both induction stovetops or cooktops, so they work really, really fast. Great for cooking classes. And here I have organic curly kale. Washed it, tore it up, nothing crazy about it. And it cooks down, as you may know, very quickly. So we're just going to give this a real quick cook. It's going to become bright green and a lot easier to use, or a lot easier to eat. Kale can be kind of bitter, woody, earthy. You know, these are not all really delicious adjectives you want when you're eating, right? Because you don't want woody, you don't want bitter, you want earthy. You want really tender, full of flavor greens, and that's what we're going to do with this. Okay, so it's going to start to really cook down very quickly, and I'll bring it over to you in just a minute. You can see how bright green it's going to get. I'm going to put it all in here. Now take a look at this. You can see the greens, and this is just one bunch, just one easy bunch of kale. It's very fluffy too. All right, so I'm going to put a lid on that for a minute, let that cook down. All right, so we've got our tomatoes going. That's at a high heat. Oh, I don't know if you can hear those.
Yes, we can hear some sizzling. Oh my gosh, we are live with Lunch Break Live, everybody, all the way from St. Louis, Missouri, USA. Yes, this is Paige. I'm here with Caryn Dugan, and she is making something so scrumptious. Continue on. Woo!
Thank you. Okay, here we have just a regular baguette. Whatever bread you want to use, doesn't matter. I have a simple French baguette. Doesn't have any dairy, any oil, any eggs, anything like that in it. And I'm putting it on to cut up several pieces. And I'm going to just put this on a parchment paper lined pan. I have a hot oven. It's at 350. Normally I go lower than that, go low and slow, but time is of the essence today. So I'm just going to put this in the oven just to toast it. I'm just giving the bread a light toast. All right, so the greens are looking great. I'm going to give these tomatoes a little love, get that heat going. And let me just show you, okay, first of all, you can't see the kale anymore. And I haven't done anything to this because the water is already coming out of it, and it is bright green. And there you can see a lot of that pan now. You can see a lot of that.
Hey, Caryn,
yes.
What's the bottom of that pan, and what are you boiling, steaming? Tell us.
I'm really just steaming it. There was just enough water in the bottom of it so it didn't burn the leaves right away. Now the leaves are really releasing a lot of their liquid, a lot of their water. So there's a little bit more water on the bottom of that pan right now, which is just a fail-safe. That initial little couple tablespoons of water or broth is just a fail-safe, just so you don't char those leaves right away. And so that I put the lid on it, just hurry up the process to really get those wilted down. Took the lid off of it because they're cooking very well. And I want to get rid of the rest of that liquid in there. So you can see maybe that the steam is coming up. So we have nicely cooked, sauteed, steamed greens. You can use any green. Well, not any green. I would say use a heartier green for this. You can use any type of kale. You can use collards. You can use chard. So those are going to be your heavier greens that you can use for this. Okay, now you can see how much they're cooking down, right? You can really see a lot of that pan now. So I'm going to let the water at the bottom of that pan just really dissipate off. We've got our tomatoes looking great. They're starting to burst. And so when they start to burst or they start to look like they're going to, you can help them out a little bit just by using a spatula or a fork. Get in there and just they'll start. I mean, you might need some goggles sometimes because when they burst, and you don't really want to be getting it in the eye. Here we go. So they start. The water of a plant-based kitchen.
To be squirted in the eye by the cherry tomato. We are live with Lunch Break Live, everybody, coming to you. Caryn Dugan, known as the STL Veg Girl. So I put that in the chat, which STL stands for St. Louis. Oh, yeah.
Not Seattle, St. Louis. Middle of the country, my friends. Middle of the country. All right.
Absolutely.
So there's a gazillion ways you can make this. However you want to make it is, you have the recipe or Paige put up a recipe or I'll get it to you, whatever. Make this however you want to. And I kind of go back and forth every once in a while. But you definitely need 2 pots, 1 for greens, 1 for tomatoes and beans. Now, however you want to spice it up, this is not part of the recipe. And this is how I like to teach. Everybody always gets the recipes, but then I make it a little bit differently upon execution because I want people to know that you don't always have to go by the rules, right? So I don't have any broth today. I just have a little bit of water. Fine. However, I do want to add a little bit punchy, a little bit more flavor. And I'm a big fan of, if you've ever come to one of my classes, I really think the Trader Joe's, I need to be on their payroll because I talk about this damn 21 seasoning salute all the time. It's sodium free. It's full of punchy flavor. It can go on top of salads, burgers. And I put it in my burger mixes a lot. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Today we're putting it into our bruschetta. And I'm going to wait and I'm going to add it to our tomato mixture.
I just want to make sure everybody's clear when she's talking about burgers. We know she's talking about a plant-based burger. Just so you know, everybody. Yes. And by the way, Caryn's mission is a plant on every plate. Tell us, you have the coolest apron on there. You've been busy. Come a little closer if you don't mind. Come bring it closer. Let's see what she's got here. Everybody take a look. This is the woman responsible for the Center for Plant-Based Living, the only one right now here in the world. Am I right?
You are correct. I have the first fully plant-based nutrition and culinary education center. This is the first one ever. It was a brainchild that, I kind of dreamt it up in 2017. Talked to a couple of good friends of mine, and I know you're friends with them also, high up in the plant-based world, because I wanted to see if anybody else was doing this. I was going to travel to them, pay them for their time and their knowledge, and, because I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. So they both said, nope, something like whatever you're describing, Caryn, does not exist. And I said, that's so silly. Why not? And they said, because everybody who is advocating for a plant-based or vegan diet, doing cooking classes, coaching, whatever, they're all service-based. They don't want the overhead. And I said, well, that's silly, because if somebody is really looking for resources, whether they be sick or they just want to add more plants to their plate for whatever reason, they need a place to go, right? They need to know that a place exists where they can get support, resources, inspiration, ideas, and it just doesn't exist. At least what I had dreamt up did not exist. So in 2017, I saved everything I had, and on the anniversary of my dad's passing, which is the impetus of me changing over to a plant-based diet, we opened up this place. So it's really an homage to him and all the people who need the resources that we offer.
Amazing. And we're going to get back to this recipe. So just so you know, this is a brand new recipe here on Jane Unchained, kale and white bean bruschetta. Yeah. That's not how you say it, though. How do you say it? Do you say bruschetta or do you say bruschetta?
So I know that I really think, because I've read a lot about this, which you think a lot, like there's a lot to read, what? The correct way is, as far as I can tell, bruschetta. But I say bruschetta, from the holler, bruschetta.
Okay, so tell us what you're doing in those pans right now, because we have people joining every second. It's so cool. Boom, 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 boom. Welcome to Lunch Break Live. Okay, what do you have going on?
Okay, so my tomatoes are really cooked down, and all you're going to do here is just use a fork or a spatula and really just burst them, and then they're almost just going to create just like a loose paste, if you will. And I say loose for a reason, so just hang in there with me. We've got a nice char on the tomatoes, which is really just going to add so much flavor. We've got them bursting all over the place. And so I'm just going to do this for just another second. I'm going to let them keep heating up. I'm going to grab my bread because I don't want that to get too toasty.
Yeah, so if you're just joining us, we're having this delicious bruschetta. Tom says no Bruce, but I'm going to go ahead and go bruschetta. Miriam says, oh, yes, hell yeah. That's right, that's right. Welcome to Lunch Break Live. Stephanie says, love it. Caryn, you're awesome. So just want to tell you, we got a Fran out there. Tom's watching. We got Miriam in the house, and we have some more folks in here as well. Christy, hey, Christy. What's going on with that bread? Now, what kind of bread are you using there? Tell us.
This is just a French baguette that I found at a local grocery store. It's my favorite bread is sourdough, but I couldn't find that in a baguette form. So, I mean, you can use whatever bread you want. Doesn't matter. The bread does not matter. That's not the important part. The bread is just a vessel. That's all it is here. All right. So we've got our tomatoes cooked down.
Yes, and it's so important. Yeah. Ooh, gorgeous, gorgeous. So important you check the ingredients, though. Make sure there is no dairy or eggs added to it. Yeah. Continue on.
Definitely make sure no dairy, no eggs. Okay, so now I'm just going to add more heat to this pan by covering it up. I just put in here white cannellini beans. Cannellini beans are an Italian bean. They have a really, really thin skin, and they cream down so deliciously. I love them. So once they get warm, then those two, we're going to grab a fork and mash them super easy, right? And just get everything together. Just mash everything together. So it's this really nice, thick, cohesive, delicious paste. Okay, I have turned off our burner here. I mean, look at how, I'm just going to show you.
Yes, those look so, that kale looks so incredibly vibrant. Look at the green. Wow.
As it does. Okay, so we have a lot. Okay, so these beans, really, you can use a potato masher, whatever. I don't care. Just get them nice and mashed up. And what you can do also is you can stick it in a blender for just 3 seconds if you want to do that. This is kind of therapeutic to do this. Now, also, what I'm going to do here, and it's mashing up really nicely, actually, because I've got a nice hot skillet. What I'm going to do now is to infuse a little bit more flavor is I'm going to use the Trader Joe's seasoning right now. Whatever Italian seasoning you have, or you don't have to at all. The recipe doesn't call for it. I just like to kind of put those little nuggets in your brain. This is how you can infuse flavor into this bruschetta. Okay, oh my gosh.
Okay, wait, we have somebody asking if you're going to be using any kind of blender, and do you add tahini sauce to the beans? There you go, a couple of questions.
Okay, so that's actually interesting. Tahini would be delicious. I have not added it to this, and I would suggest that because you suggested it, give it a try, and then make this and tag both Jane Unchained and the Center for Plant-Based Living. I would love to see it. And then a blender, I mean, you could put it into a little food processor or a blender and just pulse, pulse, pulse. You could do that. But
Caryn, the next time you come on, we're gonna have to do the blender dance together.
You're a kook.
Why not? I'm having so much fun. All right, back to you.
Take your now. Take some garlic cloves. Yeah. Take some garlic cloves, and I buy these little, again, Trader Joe's, free plug. These little packets in the produce section. Take your microplane. Everyone needs to have a microplane. I don't need to hear any excuses about you not having a microplane. Take that garlic clove, little bit of garlic all over. At the end of the cooking process. The end of the cooking process, because you do not want to burn your little garlic cloves, because that will ruin the entire dish. Nobody likes burnt, bitter garlic. Okay, I'm just going to do 2 cloves here, which is enough for raw garlic. Okay, we're gonna just mash this all together. Just give it a nice one last stir. Okay, now also, you'll see when you get the recipe, you'll see there's a balsamic reduction that we're gonna put on top of this. I make my own balsamic reduction because I am super fancy. All you do with balsamic reduction is grab a plain Jane bottle of $2.49 balsamic vinegar. You can get it anywhere. Trader Joe's. Put the entire thing into a saucepan or a saucepan, and put your heat on low. It will soon reduce. And all I mean by that is the water is going to come right out, and then you're going to get this much. See? I don't know if you can see this. You're going to get just this much left over. This is concentrated balsamic vinegar. So it's balsamic reduction or balsamic glaze. You can pay for balsamic glaze at the store, but you're going to pay a hell of a lot more for it. Just make your own. And it lasts several weeks, probably, I don't know, maybe up to about 3 months in the refrigerator, sealed. Okay, now, ready? This is what we're going to do. We're going to take our mixture of white beans and tomatoes, scoop it out. That is your base to the bruschetta. Oh my gosh, yum. We're going to do
okay, I'm definitely hungry. I know Tom's going to get on an airplane or in his car, drive on over from Chicago. We have so many new people that just jumped in here. We have, let's take a look over here. We have Willie Smith watching, as well as, Tina and Tom, Miriam, and Mary Burns is watching with Tina. Hello,
Hi.
Tom.
Hi.
And Sandy. Hey, Sandy. We have Gary in the house, in the kitchen with us today. Veronica and Stephanie. Oh, my goodness. Did I mention Miriam as well as Tina? Oh, yeah. Y'all, thank you so much for watching with us. We are a daily show. We're not going anywhere yet because we get to see this up close and drool. Just in case you're wondering, Caryn has online classes that she can take you through. You can find her on Instagram and all over. Wait, bring that closer because we need to see that up close and personal. Oh, now you're going to drizzle. Look at this, everybody. Oh, so come on. This is so exciting. Now, do you have online classes through the center? Tell us.
I do. I have, so Dr. Jim Loomis, he was in the movie The Game Changers. He's my medical director. He will be in town next week, and we are doing a soy curl class together. Those Butler soy curls, those are so fun. We're making 3 new recipes out of those.
Yes.
And then, I do have virtual classes and also a virtual membership, which is really kind of pretty inexpensive at like $30 a month. So there's a lot going on here at the Center for Plant-Based Living.
And you know what? I just have to tell you, Caryn, do you have a book yet?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
Do you have a cookbook yet? You need a cook.
I know.
Okay, we're going to need to get you a cookbook, and we would love to have you back. Everyone is loving this cooking show that you have just given us. This amazing. Look how fast that was. Look how drizzly. Look how delicious. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and you can
come on.
You can just make
Anything else?
And they can just sit in the refrigerator, and you can eat like this for the next 3 days. You can just make it once, eat for the next 3 days.
Oh my gosh. And I have to tell you, you have a request for the blender dance on your next show that you come on and do with us. Please bring her back. Yes, I agree. We would love Caryn. She's available. She's a pretty busy lady. She's definitely somebody who people want to have in their kitchen virtually and so forth. And she is trained by, you wouldn't believe. Head over to Jane Unchained tomorrow. Take a look, get this recipe or later on today and grab her story as well, or head over to what she's got to offer. Yeah. Caryn Dugan, you all. Yes. Segments. This was so much fun. I'm telling you, look at this. You're very popular today. I'm going to pop in for one quick second and say, you all know that eating more plants on your plate is important. Share with your friends. Share this out. We appreciate you watching us here on Jane Unchained, JaneUnchained.com. Love ya. One more goodbye from our dear friend here, our new bestie, Caryn Dugan. Oh my gosh, St. Louis Veg Gal, STL Veg Gal, girl. Veg girl, right?
French girl, yeah.
STL Veg girl. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.